Stop practicing these 9 anti-Stoic habits in your life. In the world of Stoicism, people really focus on building good habits and becoming better versions of themselves. They believe in being virtuous and doing the right things. But you know what's interesting? They don't talk much about the bad habits we already have. One Stoic philosopher, Epictetus, who was a big deal in Stoicism, pointed out 2 really bad habits: not sticking with things when they get tough. That's a lack of persistence. And not being able to control our desires and impulses. That's a lack of self-control. He said it's super important to keep going and do what's right, even when we really want to do something else. Getting rid of our bad habits and replacing them with good ones is tough, no doubt about it. It takes a lot of effort and not giving up. But guess what? It's equally important to avoid the stuff that tempts us into those bad habits and keeps us from growing. While there's a lot of talk about how to be a good Stoic, not much has been said about what we should stay away from in our everyday lives. Now is the perfect time to start getting rid of anything that's making our lives worse. Let's steer clear of those negative feelings that stop us from achieving what we want. In this video, we're going to talk about 9 common habits that we should definitely avoid if we want to live happy and fulfilling lives. Number 9. Stop wasting your time. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher of his era, contemplated the fleeting nature of our existence and recognized how often we waste our precious moments engrossed in trivial distractions like TikTok, Pornhub, Instagram, and the like. With keen insight, he pointed out the paradox of our behavior. We bemoan the shortness of life while simultaneously acting as though it stretches endlessly before us. In truth, many of us merely go through the motions, neglecting to truly embrace life's richness. We squander our hours on pursuits of little consequence, and when motivation dwindles, we resort to procrastination. We often assume that time is an infinite resource, failing to grasp that it is our most priceless possession. The reality is that tomorrow's existence is uncertain. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminded us, our life could cease abruptly at any moment. This profound awareness should shape our actions, words, and thoughts. It underscores the need to treasure and make the most of the time we've been granted. Number 8. Don't be afraid of change. Marcus Aurelius, an ancient philosopher, wrote in his book Meditations about something very important: change. He said that everything in life is always changing. Things transform, and eventually, they come to an end. But this isn't something to be scared of. It's actually a good thing. Aurelius explained that change affects both the good stuff and the not-so-good stuff in life. He warned against trying too hard to keep everything the same, because that can stop us from seeing new and exciting opportunities that life might offer. Instead of being afraid of change, he said we should be ready to adapt to it. We should embrace the good parts of new things that come into our lives because of change. In fact, he believed that change helps us become better people. But Aurelius also said we shouldn't throw away the old stuff or what we have now just because we want something new. If we're happy with what we have, that's okay. It means we're not afraid of change. We're just good at dealing with whatever life gives us. Number 7. Don't let anxiety rule you. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius shared a powerful insight. The root of anxiety doesn't lie in external events, but within our own minds. He emphasized that we have the power to escape this anxiety by changing our perceptions. Instead of blaming external circumstances for our anxiety, we should take responsibility for it, because it arises from our thoughts about future problems. Aurelius wisely pointed out that anxiety doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't make us better or help us solve problems. It's merely a tormenting thought about what might happen in the future. He encouraged us to recognize that no matter how uncertain life may seem, we've faced challenges before and overcome them. To combat anxiety, he advised distinguishing between what we can control and what we can't. By contemplating the worst-case scenario, we often realize it's not as dire as we initially thought. Aurelius's timeless wisdom teaches us to master our minds, find inner strength, and navigate life's uncertainties with greater resilience and peace of mind. Number 6. Stop clinging emotionally to things. The Stoics believe that we should learn to let go not only of physical things but also of our emotions. When we make a mistake in life, they said it's not helpful to keep feeling guilty and regretful about it. Instead, we should see these feelings as a way to realize that we did something wrong. However, once we've understood our mistake and learned from it to avoid making the same one again, the Stoics advised us not to let guilt and regret continue to make us feel bad. They reminded us that everyone makes mistakes, and we shouldn't make ourselves suffer too much because of them. Instead, we should always try to find ways to become better and grow from our mistakes. Number 5. Stop procrastination. In his book, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius shared a valuable idea. Instead of saying, "I'll do something good tomorrow," we should do it today. Seneca, another wise person, said that all foolish people have one thing in common. They're always getting ready to start something, but never actually start it. So, what's the big deal about doing things now instead of later? Well, there are good reasons. First, our time on this earth is limited, so it's smart to make the most of it. Second, when we finish our tasks, we can enjoy our rest more because we don't have that guilty feeling in the back of our minds. When we put things off because we feel lazy, it doesn't help us in the long run. Sooner or later, we'll still have to do those tasks, and we gain nothing by delaying them. There's a special feeling of satisfaction when you do a job well and do it at the right time, not later. Number 4. Stop looking the other way. In Stoicism, an important value is justice. Think of it as doing the right thing when dealing with others. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Cicero taught us a lot about this. They said it's not just about not doing bad things, but also about stopping bad things from happening. In his book, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius said that if we see something wrong happening and do nothing, we're also part of the problem. So being just means not ignoring injustices around us, even if we didn't cause them. Stoics are people who believe in living simply and peacefully. But there are times when they can't just look away. When someone is being treated unfairly, they should step in and help. This is when they need to remember the 4 Stoic virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. We might not be able to control what others do, but we can control our actions. Number 3. Stop being a slave. Seneca once said that there are different ways we can be like slaves without even realizing it. He compared these to being slaves to things like wanting too much, being greedy, being too ambitious, or constantly hoping for something. He also mentioned that fear can make us slaves too. Seneca believed that the worst kind of slavery is the one we choose for ourselves. He was right when he said that many times we don't even realize that we're slaves to these things. We forget that to be truly free, we need to have control over our own minds. This control helps us say no to things that might not be good for us. So, how do we become free? Seneca thought that discipline was the key. It might be harder for some people, but we all need to remember every day: are we in control of ourselves, or are our desires and impulses in control? As another wise person, Epictetus, said, "True freedom means being the boss of yourself." Number 2. Stop looking for profit or recognition in everything. When you do something well, help someone, or achieve success, it's important not to always expect people to thank you or congratulate you. Sometimes, people might not notice or appreciate your efforts, and that's okay. You can't control what others think or how they react. What you can control are your actions. So, instead of seeking recognition from others, focus on doing things because they make you happy or because you believe they are the right things to do. Sometimes, recognition and congratulations will come naturally when you've done a good job, but they shouldn't be the main reason you do things. It's important to understand that doing something for the joy of it, or because it's the right thing, will make you feel good about yourself, no matter what others think. Number 1. Stop settling for mediocrity. Always try your very best in everything you do. Ask yourself, did I give it my all? Sometimes, when you look back, you might see times when you didn't give your best. Why waste your time on things that don't deserve your best effort? And when something does, why not give it your all? Remember, we can't control whether we succeed, win, or get recognized for our efforts, but we can control how hard we try. So, give your best in everything. And don't worry about things you can't control. Why settle for doing things just okay when you have the ability to do something amazing? Make it your goal to always do your very best, no matter what. This way, you'll find that you achieve great things and lead a life filled with success and pride in your accomplishments. That's all for today. Do let us know in the comment section that which one of your habit you would like to change for better. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for upcoming videos.